Hello, hello. My technology's messing me about again. I hope you haven't been waiting for me. I don't know. I still haven't got the hang of this, how to schedule a live video and then have it go live from here rather than using a third-party application. So I need to work that out. Right, Top Tips Tuesday. And today I want to talk about dealing with negative emotions. And I'm Rachel Lancaster. I'm the founder of the Magnificent Midlife Members Club and this wonderful page and the flock and all sorts of other stuff. And I think I'm still on autofocus. I'll take myself off autofocus. Hello, how are you? How are you enjoying this Tuesday? It is sort of late lunch for me. I don't know what time it is for you. If you're watching, do say hello. Come and say hello. Yeah, so on Saturday, I had a bit of an accident, and it made me really sort of quite overwhelmed about what was happening to me. So I've been trying to do some running training, and I fell quite badly. And this is what I did to myself. And that's 3 days on, 4 days on even. So it was quite nasty, and it's up my arm here as well, up there. So it was a bit horrible, and it really sort of pushed me back. It knocked me back, and I had to sort of analyse, how I was feeling and what was going on with me. And then I listened. I heard a podcast that I had some really, really good advice for dealing with negative emotions and how to sort of cope with them. And I thought this was really interesting because one of the things that I do sometimes is I vent. I guess we all do that, don't we? Do we all do that? So in fact, I call it ranting, and I'll say, do you mind if I have a little rant? And then I'll rant about whatever it is that's bothering me. And I listened to this podcast, and it was a James Wedmore podcast. And I thought it was really, really very interesting because one of the things they were talking about was that actually this venting or ranting actually solidifies the negative emotion. It might allow you to sort of let off steam, but it actually solidifies that negative emotion, and it increases the obsession with it. So it's more likely to carry on. So what's the alternative for doing that? Well, obviously the sort of what many people do is they'll suppress an emotion, won't they? So they'll push it away. But if you don't deal with your emotions, then they just come back to bite you in the bum because pain needs to be resolved in some way. And this is what was sort of happening with me with my arm. And also the fact that this run, I felt really vulnerable. I felt really stupid. I was obviously in a lot of pain. And I thought, oh, for goodness me, goodness sake, you shouldn't be doing that. I should have been running a bit more mindfully. So, and then the third option, so you've got, the possibilities for dealing with these negative emotions. So you've got the venting or the ranting. You've got the suppression, whether or not you're going to suppress it. But that's probably even worse than the venting or the ranting, because it just stays inside us, doesn't it? It doesn't get dealt with. So something that I've also picked up on through my study of mindfulness, and which came up on this podcast, is that it's really important to label our emotions and actually give some language to it. So I was able to think about, okay, yes, this has made me feel very vulnerable. This has made me feel stupid since I'm falling over as I'm running down the track. I was running down, it's like a woodland track near me. I live in North London, but I have this wonderful woodland track. So it was a little tree route, not very high, just very low in the soil, that I fell over. So I went down, a couple of people stopped, asked if I was all right. I'm always best left in those scenarios to just get myself up calmly. But I was able later, and over the last couple of days, where I've just sort of been sitting feeling a little sorry for myself, to label the emotions that I've been feeling and to think, okay, yes, it made me feel vulnerable. Yes, it made me feel stupid. Yes, it made me feel weak. but I've then managed to just deal with those. I haven't actually been running again yet, but I did run back on the day, which I was quite impressed with. Not all of the way, but I did run back with my arms dangling by the side. Didn't break anything. Absolutely fine. And if you missed it, there we are. There's another shot of it. It's quite not pretty, is it? And it started, but it's healing really, really well. So the labeling, an acknowledgement of how we're feeling, and bringing that language to it, actually putting a label on it, is something that mindfulness teaches as well. And somehow it works because it sort of takes away the power of it by acknowledging it, by sitting with the pain is okay for a little bit, you know, and by doing that you can then process it, feel it, deal with it, and then you can move on and leave it behind, instead of having, you know, the venting, ranting, where it's become perhaps bigger than it might have been, or suppressing it and you haven't dealt with it at all. So I thought this was really a good little tip for you on a Tuesday. So try, when you're having a difficult situation, you're dealing with some difficult emotions, try labeling them. Try actually taking a minute or two to think about what it is that you are feeling and why you might be feeling it, rather than either suppressing it or going off and having a rant or a vent about it. So yeah, that's my Top Tip Tuesday. So if you want to have more of these sort of things, do like this page, or come over and join our free group, The Flock, or even come and check out our Magnificent Midlife Members Club, and I will just put the link to that in the comments, and I never have it ready in time. So so yeah, there you go. That's it, really. I hope that was useful. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're watching it on Catch Up, say hello, tell me where you're watching from, and tell me what you think of my idea that it's a good idea to label our emotions rather than either suppressing them or going on a big rant. Okay? Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.